Hello, this is a video of tuning a Steinway Grand that we sold recently. It's been restrung, fully restored, and hasn't been tuned for 2 years. So because it's got new strings, it's fallen over 5 beats, and we're going to tune it sharp by over 4 beats sharp in order to get it hopefully to about A442 once we've finished. Now, this is such a big pitch raise that we need to do it in 2 stages. See, it's from there to there, both notes together. So with such a big pitch raise, we've got to do it in 2 stages, and this is what we do. We turn there's several ways you can do this, but this is one of the standard ways. Just tune the first 2 strings like that up to roughly where you think it should be, like that. It sounds pretty awful at the moment, and we keep on going like that all the way up the piano and all the way down the piano. The reason we do this is to equalise the tension, to stay, so if you don't do this, then when you tune the whole piano normally, it would just go back, you find it went back down again. So you need to get the pitch roughly right before you try and fine tune it. Now the reason we do the first 2 and not all 3 strings is because if you do all 3, you tend to find you've overdone it. In other words, you've done it too sharp. It's all a question of doing it reasonably quickly, because this is not meant to be at all accurate. What happens if you don't do this? Then what happens is that you find that as you tune it up, it's because the extra tension makes it go flat. You see, you tune it up, and then the string next to it will go flat because of the extra tension. It makes the whole thing flatten down. So that's why you have to do this. When you get to the bichords, where there's 2 strings, you can do them both really. Okay, now we've done that rough pitch raise of the whole piano, we can start to fine tune it. Now we see what the purist sound we can get here. I think that's as pure as we're going to get that. This is my way of tuning it. It's not the most standard way of tuning this, actually. The way I was taught when I first learnt to tune, and I found it suits me very well. That's not in tune. Try again. Sometimes they move. You're churning every single tuning pin, so it's very hard to get stability. The next tuning will be more stable. Generally in tuning, you don't have to tune every single pin. Just it's putting up a bit of a fight, this one. Let's try that. I'll have to return to that later. That's probably as good as we'll get it. Get the octave as pure as we can. So I start off with top C, then middle C. Excuse me. do G, get the 5th pure and slightly flatten it. That's C to G. We're going clockwise around the key wheel. If you know what the key wheel is, have a look on the internet, find out key or chord wheel. Next note is G below middle C. So say this is my system of tunings, not the most common one. Next we do D, G to D. Slightly narrow, in other words, the D slightly flat. Then D to A. Slightly narrow again. So it's really hard to get this accurate on a pitch raise. So that's, and then the other A below middle C. Then the E above middle C, again narrowing the 5th slightly. That should be about 10 per second. Okay, you can't count 10 per second maybe. You get used to what the sound is. You just get used to whether it's right or not. So it's E to B. And then the B, octave below B, we're staying in this area between F sharp and C. That's the idea of dropping the octave. And then the first of the sharps, F sharp. So it's both the octave F sharps, now C sharp. Those thirds should be in good progression. That one's slightly faster than that one. For the purpose of the video, I'm not going to stay on them too long, but try it for yourself. C sharp to G sharp. So that's G sharp to G sharp below middle C. We can't hope to get this tuning unbelievably accurate because it's pitch raise. The next tuning will be the accurate one. So a good progression between those thirds. And then we go on to the D sharp. D sharp to A sharp. You probably know it as B flat if you're a musician, but it's always sharps when you're tuning. A sharp. Well, it can be called A sharp in music as well, but so we've gone right round the clock of the key wheel, and we're just about to get back to F and C. So both B flats or A sharps. And back to the F. Now here's the test to see if we got it right. That 4th should be slightly wide, about 1 beat. And that slightly narrow. Very hard to get a pitch raise really accurate. So gone the whole of the temperament scale right around the key wheel, starting at C, G, D, and so on, right through to B flat, sorry, A sharp, and F, and then back to C. Well, that's reasonable for a pitch raise. Okay, we've done the whole temperament. Now we go from the C sharp to the top of the piano here, always leaving it slightly sharp. That's because the ear demands that it's sharp. Now I'll probably overdo it slightly, so pitch raise, very, very hard to be sure how accurate you can be on this. So that one was slightly sharp. Now this one we haven't tuned yet, still flat. Slightly sharp, and our fifth in tune, octave sharp. Okay, if you're a piano tuner, you're probably saying that's a bit too sharp, but as you know, it's very hard to get it right on a pitch raise, so please forgive me for that. And so on, right up to the top of the piano. Now we're going to go around to the bass. So we want the octave to be as pure as possible. The fifth and the fourth too. The fifth should be slightly purer than the fourth. The F, now the E, same, pure as possible, slightly, this is a pitch raise, so as I say, we're concentrating more on keeping the unisons in tune. A process we call setting the pins, make sure it doesn't go out of tune. Normally you set the pins by one of two methods. The final movement is a slight movement, push pressure that way. Then play it reasonably loud. Setting the pins, it's largely a matter of experience really, so in a way you've got to do lots of it, and over the years you learn what makes the pins not go out of tune, what makes the notes stay in tune. And there's no substitute for just lots of practice really. Come on to the copper core strings now. The copper core strings are never quite so pure, very hard to get them dead pure. If you've not experienced at tuning, then you need a lot of patience really to get the notes to stay in tune. The main problem you're going to have is that a couple of weeks after the piano has been tuned, it goes out of tune again. It's also to do with setting the tuning pins so that chords and onto the bichords. Bichords meaning two strings. Here I put the wedge between two notes, as it were. Take it out and then tune the unisons. Copper wound strings are never as pure as the steel ones. Sometimes these bass strings are very hard to tell. Just bring them up into tune. If we play the octaves now, octaves and fifths. A bit out of tune, and that one. Well, it needs another fine tune again, really, but that's typical of a pitch raise. It's really hard to get it right. So thank you very much for listening, and hopefully we'll make some more videos of more accurate tunings in future. Thank you. Bye-bye.